back to Season Liberally. Today, we're going to be looking at knife maintenance, how to keep your knives sharp in your kitchen. Stick around.
So this is actually a topic I really didn't know a lot about for a long time, and really only recently learned how to properly sharpen a knife. See, every kitchen I ever worked in had a knife sharpening service. They would buy multiple sets of knives. Then when a set got dull, they would just call the service to come pick up the knives and deliver the recently sharpened knives. So there's never a moment where we all sat around sharpening knives before or after service. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of really expensive, bespoke, Michelin star rated restaurants that won't let someone touch their knives, let alone sharpen them. But I never worked in a place like that. And so I really didn't have a lot of experience and had to look up a lot of this information that I'm going to give to you today. So what is a knife edge? Well, there are two main things going on here. One is that all knives are serrated. It's just that we really can't see the serrated edge of a knife because those little ridges are microscopic. So one goal of sharpening knives is to put the serration back into the blade. The second thing you're doing is to take some of the metal off to refresh the angle of the edge. Stones are by far the best way to sharpen knives. And what they do is they grind the blade down, and the roughness of the stone puts those serrations into the blade. As you progress in stone grit, the grains the stone is made of get smaller. So the higher the grit, the smoother the stone. So a 400 grit has a rough surface, and an 8,000 grit stone has an imperceptibly smooth surface. You start with a smaller grit, rougher stone. You take off more metal off the blade, and you put deeper grooves in the edge. As you go, you incrementally work up the grit count and refine the edge to make the serration smaller and thus the knife sharper. So how do you do it? Well, there's a lot of sharpening tools out there, and over the years, I accumulated a ton of these. These are mainly for people who don't want to work with stones, which is really the best way I've found to sharpen knives. So let's take a look at some of these, and I'm only going to be looking at manual sharpeners, not electric ones, because I've never owned an electric one, so I don't really know how well they work. From what I hear, they actually take a lot of material off the blade, which is why I've never bought one. Okay. So the first one here is just a free edge refresher that came with one of the knives I bought. It has a hard metal sort of V that you drag your blade through. This metal is the shape of the edge. Basically grinds the metal off the edge of the knife where it touches so it gets that proper shape. The other slot here is two ceramic poles, and they're also in the same configuration. You drag your blade through after you sort of tear off the parts of your knife that were out of shape. Now, as you can tell by the way I'm talking about this is not a great tool. The edge it makes is really shabby, and it can actually damage sensitive knives, especially Japanese knives. If I'm going to rate this, I'm going to give this I'll give it a 1 out of 10. The next one is basically what the previous tool was, it's just a little bigger, and it has a scissor sharpener on it. As you can see, this one is pretty well loved, and I did have it for years and used it a ton before I really learned how to sharpen knives. I'm also going to give this one a 1 out of 10 because I could never figure out why my knives were not super sharp, even after just using this thing. This next one actually has little metal rollers inside the grooves. They are, according to the company, they say they're diamond abrasive embedded on unique precision sharpening discs. That's their language. They feel like metal to me. In any case, these are also in an edge pattern. They're in a V. This one here actually is the first one that accounts for Asian knife edges, which are a more gradual edge than European knives. They're different. They're 15 degrees, and a European knife is around 20 degrees. This one has a higher grit in the first stage, and then there's a polishing stage on the other side. The polishing honing stage can be used with both Asian and European knives. I bought this one because actually America's Test Kitchen gave it good ratings, and it's pretty easy to use and it's versatile, but it's really just not all that useful. The edge I got off this was not great, and it didn't stay for a long time. I'm going to give this one like a 3 out of 10. The next one here is probably the best no-nonsense sharpener I have. This one has wheels on it in the same sort of V configuration, but they're made of a whetstone material. They're already at that proper angle, and there are 3 wheels in here, and they're all sort of in an order of roughest to smoothest. That allows you to redefine the edge and to hone your edge as you work your way down. You got to fill this little guy with water, though, and you got to let it sit for a few minutes, and I like to spin the stones to make sure they get saturated here. And it needs to have water in it while you use it. As you use it, the wheel will roll, and it will pick up water as it rolls through. Now, this is not a bad sharpener, to be honest. It puts an okay edge on the knife, and it lasts for a while. And I did use this for quite some time after I read about it. I'd give this one like a 7 out of 10. I also have a pocket knife sharpening system. Now, this one has different grit stones and a guide to make sure you're always at that proper angle. The holes on the side here correspond to different angles for different types of blades. Like I said earlier, the Asian blade is at a 15 degrees. The European is at 20. You wind up just attaching this little piece here, which is like a metal rod, and it goes into the proper hole, which are labeled at what degree they are at, and then you just use that as a guide. You grab the back of the stone, and you slide it alongside your blade. Now, the difficulty here is that this is pretty small, right? These stones are tiny, and they can't really work their way all the way across a very big blade like a chef's knife. So this is really great for pocket knives, but it's not super great for doing a chef's knife, especially a 10-inch chef knife. It's almost impossible to use this with a large chef knife. You could use this on maybe a fillet knife, but I certainly wouldn't go any bigger than that. I'm not going to rate this one. It does give a great edge, though. I will say this one is an excellent tool. They sell them with larger stones, though, so you can buy this type of mechanism, and I found that this thing really does work quite well. The setup is a little kind of a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's not a bad tool. So now we're going to get to the whetstones. Now, some stones require oil, others require water. If they require water, you really want to soak these stones for about, 10 or 15 minutes. I use a big container full of water, and then I use that water to re-wet the stones as I'm sharpening. The stone sits in this holder, and then you slide the blade over it. There's a lot of things you need to pay attention to, though, or the blade will be duller than when you start. This method, though, of sharpening knives is the best way I've found to get razor-sharp knives. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do this one today. First thing you need to do is recognize what you need to take off of the blade. So you basically have to take off one entire edge of each side of that blade. Well, there's a great way to figure this out. You take a Sharpie and you run it along the blade length, both sides, right all the way up to the very edge. Now you take it, and when you're sharpening your knife, you look to see if you're taking the black off the very edge of the blade. If it's taking off the metal a little higher, that means your blade angle is too low. You need to lift up a little bit on your blade. If it looks like it's only taking off the very, 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 very tip, you might be too high. You need to lower it down a little bit. You want to try to get a nice size bevel on your blade at the proper angle. Doing this allows you to see that you took off the right amount of material off of each side of the blade. Now, when we start, we want to figure out the actual angle too of the blade. So we're going to do a little bit of trigonometry. The proper angle is, for a European blade, about 20 degrees. So what you can do is you can start with your knife perpendicular to the stone. That's 90 degrees. If you have that, that's 45 degrees. And if you have that again, that's 22.5 degrees. Anywhere around in there is pretty good. That's not a bad angle to be at. You can lower it a tiny, tiny touch if you want. If you're using an Asian blade, you're going to have to lower it even more than about 5 more degrees more, actually, to get the proper angle on the Asian blade. Now, they do sell these little guides. You can clip these on the back of your knife and then use this. Basically, it sits on the stone, and then it will hold the knife at the proper angle. I'm not crazy about these because if you're using a big blade like this particular chef's knife, the knife itself can just fall off the edge and then ruin your angle. And I don't like to use it. I like to try to find the proper angle that I can and use that and memorize what that feels like. Now, another thing you want to pay attention to here is pressure. When you put pressure on the blade, you don't want to put so much pressure on that stone and on that blade that you're damaging the blade. From what I've read, it's between 4 and 8 pounds of pressure. 8 is for like a really dull knife when you put a lot of pressure on. So I would stick around 4 to 5, maybe 6. To figure that out, get out your scale, get out your kitchen scale, turn it on, and feel what it feels like to press on something at 4 pounds or 5 pounds of pressure so you can feel what that feels like and try to memorize what that feels like. Once you figure out the angle and the pressure, to start out, you want to lock your wrist. You want to try to make big motions with your body, so using your hips, using your arm, using your shoulders to move while keeping your wrists locked is important to keep that angle. That will make sure that your wrist isn't changing that degree as you slide the blade back and forth. You also want to cover the whetstone with your whole knife, right? So you want to start on one edge, and then you want to finish on the other edge. And you want to cover it kind of in a diagonal all the way down. We do this because it makes sure that each stroke is even, and it's also faster because you're using the whole stone, not just a little piece of it. Now, before we get started, one other thing, a lot of these stones will come with a stone refresher. So this is a very, very coarse grit stone that you can set on top of your sharpening stones. And if you rub them, it will then take off any uneven parts because that piece is very even. It's very hard and it's very even. And so it will take off any of the high spots on your stone so your stone isn't waving up and down as you're sharpening your knife. It keeps that surface nice and flat. Now, as you work your way across, you got to figure out a method in which you're doing it, right? You got to figure out whether or not you're going to do what they call the burr method or if you're going to do the even strokes method. Now, I do the even strokes method, but I'm going to tell you what the burr method is. What they do is a lot of people will take and grind down one side of the blade until they can feel with their thumb a burr, which is where the metal starts to curl over the edge of the blade, meaning that you've cut enough of the metal away so there's only just this very, very thin part of metal that is now encroaching over the side of the blade, which allows you to know that your blade is as fine as it's going to get. It's as sharp as it's going to get. Then they go to the other side and they sharpen on that side. Now, I don't like to do this because I like to make sure that the edge is even on both sides. So I like to count when I do it. I will normally start with 20 strokes on each side, then I'll go to 15, then 10, then 5 on each side. Then I'll do like 3 on each side, 2 on each side, 1 on each side several times, 4 or 5 times, and then I'll switch stones out. You start at your lowest grit, hardest, roughest stone, and you work your way up. So you start with your 400 or you start with your 1,000 and you work your way up all the way up until you get to up to 8,000 if you want. Now, when I get to the stones, I give the knife a test. There's a lot of people on the internet, man, you watch any of these videos, these people are cutting paper like crazy. I don't like to cut paper with my knives because I never cut paper with my knives. I like to go grab something that I would cut normally and cut it. So I will take very often, if I have it in the house, a tomato, and I'll use a tomato to cut it. If it doesn't crush it, it cuts through nice and easy. I know the knife is sharp. You can also use onions or citrus fruit, whatever you want to use to show that the knife is sharp and that it's cutting properly. Now, I want to finish this video by talking about the steel. Some people think the steel is sharpening the knife. The steel is not sharpening the knife. What happens when you cut on hard surfaces or you cut into bone is that a blade edge can get a little wavy. If it gets a little wavy, it's not as sharp. What the steel does is it straightens that edge out. It does not sharpen the blade at all. It just straightens the edge from an already sharp blade. And I do try to use my steel on occasion because if I cut on another surface or I cut on a cutting board and I'm, using a lot of pressure, maybe I cut into a bone, I like to try to use the steel on occasion. I don't use it all the time. I don't use it every time I pull a knife out of the block, but I do use it. I use it about twice a week on each knife.
Okay, I hope that helped you out. I hope you learned how to keep your knives in good condition. My suggestion would be buy a knife you really like. Go out, test them out, hold them, see which one you like. Buy a knife you like, and then research the best way to keep that knife sharp. Now, chances are, if you buy a European one, the way I showed you today is going to work really well for you. With an Asian one, you would just change the angle a little and not use the Honings steel, and you could also use an Asian high carbon steel knife, and that would work for you as well. So hopefully you go out, you find yourself a knife that you like or a couple knives you like, and you are able to keep them sharp for the life of the knife, which in fact should be your life, right? It should last your entire lifetime if you take care of them. If you don't put them in the dishwasher, you don't put them in a drawer, just an open drawer that they can bang around in, they should last your entire life. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Catch you next time. Season liberally.